Level 3.
Cool. All right, everybody. Session 9 of Planescape, The Weight of Doors. Uh, I'm just gonna see what do people remember, and then we'll fill in the blanks from there.
So, I mean, there's remember, and then there's what I took notes on. I remember we started out after the fight at I wouldn't have remembered the name of the Temple of Gishtai, but it was like a dump with a bunch of ambiguously deep puddles around. And we were like collecting whatever loot we could off of the bodies of the people we were fighting. Um, and then we wanted to go to the Hall of Speakers at some point. I actually only vaguely remember what we did at the Hall of Speakers. I remember Uthermath got up and gave like a speech, and Chaz was behind him, and so Uthermath thought he was killing it, but it was actually everybody was really focused on Chaz behind him.
Yep.
Um, but we basically made a good impression there, and then met up with somebody from I forget which organization, but some very tall guy who said that basically like it would take them months to act at all if they did anything about who actually should be in control of the temple and whether or not it should be the Athar or someone else. So a little discouraged from that. We decided to instead go look into the Hall of Records to see what we could find about the temple itself. On the way there, we met some guy who was like selling debt. Uh, and ultimately, Chaz managed to chase off another woman who had the debts that this guy owed. So Chaz collected all of this guy's debts. We then went into the Hall of Records where Dobrin unknowingly racked up huge bills. We tried to find things on our own, but couldn't. And it turned out that it's basically all just a scam to get you to earn little fees for them so that they can charge you out the nose before you eventually break down and let a Modron go and find the records for you. But Chaz instead, the woman who was sort of manning the room we were in was strangely over sexualized. So Chaz wound up and she was also very much into debt. And it turned her on that Chaz had the debts, particularly of that one guy who I guess was somewhat notorious. So Chaz traded his debts to that woman in exchange for wiping out the charges we inadvertently incurred and getting us the records we were looking for with respect to the temple. That's what I actually remember. My notes have some more detail.
Yeah. The the Hall of not the Hall of Records, but we were in the
Hall of
we were in the Hall of
Speakers,
Speakers. It's controlled by the sign of one. And it's
right?
like
The
the record
signers.
is there. We spent all day there. It was like we spent all day. I remember, and that was like, well, we were just going to be part of the bureaucratic process because we were hoping that the bureaucracy would work in our favor. Um, Also, one of the items that we got from the fight was a prosthetic hand. Dobrin thought it would potentially be a good uh, appendage to his trunk, um, if not for the smell. That was terrible.
Go wash it.
Yeah, yeah, but yeah, not at the Hall of Speakers. So he's uh,
Right. Well, we did that back at the office.
yeah, because we started, I think we went back to the office,
Right.
then we went to the Hall of Speakers and the Hall of Records.
Yep.
Yeah, so also just because it's been a long time since we played, I'm just going to give a quick overview of the things that have happened since session one. Initially, you guys were hired to find a man named Eliath. because he might have some kind of connection to the Isle of Black Trees, which is a demi-plane that is believed to have very powerful artifacts or treasures. And so many treasure hunters are trying to seek it. Um, Eventually, you did find Eliath, although he was referred to himself by a different name and was a part of the um different faction. What is that faction again? The Doom Guard. I think it was a Doom Guard. uh yeah, the Doom Guard. And he was working in a foundry. Um so you guys were able finding him, you were able to collect payment even though he refused to really come to see the person that had hired you. You did learn from
And we
him.
and we managed to get him arrested.
Oh yes, that's right. Because he was held responsible for Dobrin's ass smashing some dude's head.
As one does. But
Right.
our benefactor, the person who hired us, was not all that perturbed. Apparently, he has some sort of connection with the Athar, whoever was arrested
The
him,
Harmonium.
the
Yeah.
Harmonium. So
Right. And then we got Sareth Vamora was like the new client who came in who wanted us to go check out this temple.
Yeah.
Although we still haven't necessarily verified that everything she told us was correct, but I forget what it was we were skeptical about.
well, she said that there was violence in the streets around the temple, and after speaking with the residents and like the people in the area, there had not been any violence in the streets yet.
Yeah.
Things.
I mean, they were ready to attack us though, when we just tried to go see the temple.
Yeah. Um, and so another just a couple minor things from the first arc. You also encountered the Shadow Knave, who seemed to have some capacity to kill people without touching them or inflicting any kind of physical noticeable harm. And he seemed to just target barmies and bubbers and he was primarily working in the hive, um, or really only working in the hive. You also um, had a strange vision um, that you all had, and then apparently had lost time, ending up back at the detective agency where Bendon Mall seems to have been. Uh, he claimed to, or it suggested that you had contacted him to let him know about the completion of his request, which none of you can actually recall. Um, then, as part of the investigation into Sareth's claims around the church, you came to the Ubiquitous Wayfarer, which is a large tavern and inn. And through there, you met uh, a uh, Ganassi, an Earth Ganassi by the name of
Lister?
Hoolister, yeah. And there was a pretty good conversation between Hoolister and Dobrin until Dobrin uh, made him a bit nervous and he left since he had been a part of the Athar, but he was found out to be a spy for the Free League or the Revolutionary League or something. You had tracked him back down to his place, and he seemed to have an unhealthy obsession with the barkeep at the Ubiquitous Wayfair. You also encountered Full Naren, who, in exchange for some drink tokens, and solving the riddle of the machine at the ubiquitous Wayfair.
My notes say his name is Full Neener.
Yeah. I think that's gonna be his name now, Full Neener. So Full Neener revealed that he had overheard some signers talking about potentially attacking the Athar at the church to take it by force. That attack may happen within a week's time. He also said that there was an elf woman by the name of Elkis who he heard her name be mentioned as being part of that group that was discussing that. And they were discussing that at the Ubiquitous Wayfair. Uh, and then you went to the church. You were rebuffed from actually entering the church. And then at the Temple of Geshtai, where you went to see if the issues going on with um, Fisk were due to the proximity of a religious temple. That was not the case, but some of the Athar came and attacked you guys. You managed to kill one of them, the rest fled.
Who is Fisk?
Yeah, exactly. Um, so the Athar have a pretty strong and seemingly militant presence at the church. You also know from talking to people that up until like maybe a week ago, nobody even realized that the church was there, let alone that it was worth any kind of, attention. And then finally, one of the things that you got from the Hall of Records was records regarding the current ownership of the church, which you came to know as being owned by Cruigh Manathas. Cruigh Manathas. Who is marked as having uh
And he owns the church? I don't
he
remember
owns
that.
the church. Yes. You also recall that uh the recent attention happened as a result of construction happening at the church, and that the construction crew vanished. The Harmonium checked out the place, and several of them vanished. And that's when the church was handed over to the Athar, who had some, once they learned about it, had some interest in the church, which is not yet clear what their interest is. So that's where you guys that's where the last session ended, is with you getting those records.
You did forget to add that we have a marker we can call in at any time to
Yep.
summon Mordregard Anthill, aka Poundy McPounderson.
Yep. So there's one other place that you have not checked out that you may, although given your recent interaction with the Athar, you may not want to. But the Shattered Temple is the base of operations for the Athar, or Athar, uh, however it's pronounced. Um, so it's unclear whether or not you'd be welcomed there, depending on if words spread of specifically your group, and how well your group might be, your faces might be known to those. But that's another place that you can check out. potentially to see what it is that's going on with this church. And you still have additional opportunities to try and get more information from the rest of the neighborhood. You guys haven't really done a whole lot of like canvassing at all, but that's another potential source of information.
Now that the Shattered Temple, I think, is off limits. We've we're not so inconspicuous. At least some of us are not so inconspicuous. Because he
I
gestured
agree.
to his his elephant body.
You and Chet would stick out like a sore thumb. Cadeau, of course, can change his face, and I would just be another blue face in the crowd.
Yep.
Um, but what do we know of this Cruigh Manathas?
Um, I don't know if there's anything I would know.
Uh, Kiddo, you could do a history check and we'll see. See if you want high or low.
Oh,
I
yeah,
forgot
shit.
that rule.
God damn it. I want high. That's what I want.
Um, I do want to remind people that the rule is only for things where success is not necessarily well understood, not
Yeah.
like making a jump or unlocking a chest, but when there's a
For the
possibility
viewers at
of
home, we suspect that the rule is for where Tony rolls and then he rolls really high. So
Finally. Finally.
It's
So, Kiddo, what you can recall is that Cruigh Manathas is supposed to be a fairly wealthy individual associated with the Harmonium. Uh, and you would also know that the stories that you've heard of him suggest that he really enjoys being the center of attention and he loves to talk.
Um, any watering holes I know him to visit?
Um, yeah, I would say that you would know that while he does is not an active member of the Harmonium, he does carry some influence within the organization, so you are likely to find him from time to time talking the ears off of fellow hardheads at the Harmonium headquarters, which I believe is the barracks, if I'm remembering correctly. Uh, yeah, the barracks. So you'd know that. Additionally,
And this is the guy that owns that temple.
Yes. Uh, According to the deed, he owns the plot of land that the temple is on, and so by that also owns
The
um
temple itself.
the
Yeah.
temple. Yeah. And so an additional place that you would know that Krug hangs out at is a place called the Gilded Angle, which is a much wealthier uh type of it's an establishment for much wealthier individuals in the clerk's ward.
So like a gentleman's club type of thing, or
Mm-hmm.
and where was it at again?
The
The
clerk's
wealthy
ward.
club, and how far is that from here?
Uh, well, the Hall of Records. Where is it? That's also in the clerk's ward. So it's not too far away from where you guys currently find yourselves.
Okay. And then, but the barracks is somewhere else. I need a good map myself, man.
The barracks are located in the ladies' ward.
Okay. All right. Well, well, I think he likes to be the center of attention. So once we find where he's at, it'll probably be pretty obvious. He's most likely the loudest one in the room. He could be at a place not too far from here. Could be, but it's a wealthy place. I don't normally have the way in.
We could always go see if we can get in. I was under the impression the temple was fairly old. Does Cadeau know like whether or not Cruigh Manathas is human or something else?
Yeah, he's a human.
We can
Yeah,
try to see, and if it if we can't, we may be able to get we may be able to contact Bendon Mall and see if he can pull some strings in exchange for a favor.
we could also potentially find him at the barracks. I don't know if we can get in there either.
Hmm. Would it be suspicious if we just went in and said we wanted to talk to him?
I mean, I'm sure somebody would think it's suspicious. It's, it's the kind of place we live in.
The Harmonium, however, arrests a lot of people, so I'm sure they have people coming in off the street all the time.
Where'd Chaz go?
I haven't seen him. Maybe he's washing his hair.
How'd we miss him? He stands out. I'm sure he's on important business.
He's probably off.
I mean, he just met that old lady. Where's she? She's not around either.
It's because we left her inside. I don't. I'm not that insightful, but I don't think there was any chemistry coming from Chaz's side there. Whatever she was sensing was just his pure being. That being said, shall we go? This place is called the Gilded Angle. I don't know why.
So actually, Cadeau, given your history check, I would say that you would know something about the Gilded Angle.
Uh-huh. Is there a back
So,
entrance?
so the Gilded Angle, what you know about it is that it is a place where what is what it is known for best, aside from the non-Euclidean architecture of the inside of it, but for a a door with faint iridescence that only opens once it has judged you as worth letting in. There's no bouncers, no posted prices. It said if you have to ask, you're already in the wrong place.
Gotcha. I've never been able to get in because I've never belonged there. But maybe now that I got a reason to go in, it'll let me in.
So it's a magical door.
Of a sort.
It is sentient.
I don't know about sentient, but
I mean, it has an opinion. It chooses to
something
people
chooses.
in or out depending on what it perceives or what it was programmed to perceive as acceptable.
I'm sure we can get in. Nobody's purpose is greater than ours, right? We're here to save the city from itself.
I'm just excited for Hawk to now walk when we walk in to describe non-Euclidean architecture.
He can't. That's the whole thing. That's the
Yeah.
Everything's just described in spherical coordinates.
This way.
Yeah, make our way.
All right, so you find the Gilded Angle sitting between two impossibly narrow buildings. Its facade is subtle triumph of restraint, with polished brass signage, dark stone, and that faintly iridescent door. It doesn't have a doorknob or any real indication that it is a door. It seems to have a seam that lets you know it is a door, but other than that, it seems to be a solid iridescent extension of the stone facade.
Anyone want to try their hand first?
I walk in.
So there are steps leading up to the door. As you cross the last step, your foot trips and you stutter, and you realize that you counted 8 steps, yet you only climbed 7 and you're at the top.
Very odd.
So from Dobrin and Cadeau's perspective, you your foot went up an additional step as if you were going to climb it, but then you tripped. But from your perspective, you were climbing another step.
It's like, oh yeah, you got to watch out for that step. It's kind of tricky.
Now I go in.
How do you attempt to enter?
I mean, I would just attempt to step through the iridescent portal because I don't know about these two, but I assume I'm allowed in.
So you attempt to step through. How much do you commit?
I mean, so here's what I'm thinking. Like, just like when I said, just another blue face in the crowd, my Uthermath assumes he's like the normal one. He's the one who's like supposed to be here. He's the guy who like wanted to go through the whole bureaucratic process because he just assumed they would listen to him and do what he wanted. So this being a portal, he would just step through. He would commit completely. He assumes it will transport him somewhere else, but otherwise he just steps through like it's air.
So Uthameth, you take that step, and then for you, time begins to stop. And suddenly you are in a swirling sort of vortex. Everything coming apart and disintegrating into the vortex until it is just you and the door. And the door, you hear its voice in your head, but also from all around you and reverberating from your jaw bones into your ears. And it says, hmm, you are confident. You know what you seek. But are you worthy of this establishment? What
What what are the criteria for worth?
ponders your question? And it says, that is for you to that is for you to convince me. Convince me of your worth. Let me know that this is the kind of establishment in which you would be welcome.
Well, I am a fine and upstanding citizen of the city of Sigil who came here on a particular mission trying to find some measure of justice for my old mentor. Now I am trying to find some measure of justice for a client of mine, and I believe one of the people inside may have information that can help me in that regard. So, in a sense, I am on a mission that will help out others in the city of Sigil, and so therefore I think I am quite worthy of entering.
Ah, I see. You believe because you act in social justice and for the good of others, that is what makes you worthy. And perhaps in some places that would make you worthy. But this is a place about taste, about style, about class. What do you offer in the way of those?
Well, I will be honest, I have not seen much in the way of taste and style and class since entering the city of Sigil. The tastes and preferences of the people here are all very strange. Mine are very refined by the standards of my people.
And what is that? Describe your tastes. Describe what you believe to be class.
I am familiar with all sorts of subtleties of magic and arcana. I have studied for years to understand the subtle differences between different sorts of enchantments. And so within my particular culture, I am considered quite refined.
You've said nothing of the specifics around your taste or style, only that it is refined. Tell me,
So
how
yeah,
and
I would describe for him in uh, possibly too much detail the differences in different sorts of magic and how they can be aesthetically pleasing and how they can be combined in different ways.
and tell me, based on this extensive sense of style within the arcane, how would you seek that out in this establishment? What do you believe is here that might appeal to those tastes? And how
But
might you, in turn, appeal to those whose tastes lie within?
Well, see, I seek someone who is the owner of a property that has a magical mystery all about it. There is a temple in the city that is causing people to disappear, and that appears to be the center of a mystery of its own. Uh, Mysteries also appealed to me on an aesthetic level, which is why I in part chose my profession to pass my time and earn some jink while in the city of doors. Inside, there is a man who knows something of this particular property because of his ownership of the land. I am hoping that he will help me fit pieces into the puzzle that will allow me to solve the mystery of what is going on in this strange temple that makes people disappear. The strange temple and why it is so important to the Athar.
I do appreciate your honesty. However, it does not seem as if you truly wish to partake of what this establishment has to offer, rather to harass those who might lie within.
I do
I
not seek
can't,
to harass anyone. I seek to ask questions. But I know
yes,
nothing
but
of the uh, whatever it is may be on offer within the establishment. I gathered from what my companion said that this was some sort of tavern.
yes, well, you may describe the things that you would like to seek out in a place that might demonstrate the refinement of your particular arcane palette, but you seem to be quite driven in seeking out a particular individual. Of course, if that is the only reason you are here, I am afraid I must turn you away. I cannot, in good conscience for those that I serve, allow somebody with no desire to actually partake of anything within to be allowed to taste that which I bear, nor can I risk the sanctity of those that sit within. And with that, the swirling vortex ends and you slam your face into the door.
Ooh.
Oh, rude.
You're supposed to pause your momentum. Hmm.
Now, the door and I had a long conversation, and apparently you have to come up with a particular reason, a particular thing that you wish to partake of within the Golden Angle. And since the only thing I wanted to partake of was to question one of its patrons, it told me I am not worthy of entering. It suggested we would harass this man. I
Uh,
suppose Hoolister might say that we harassed him since he fled from us.
no, that's just rude.
It depends on the application of your questioning, I think. Either way.
But I was unable to describe anything that is inside that I wanted to partake of other than to question Cruigh Manathas. So it told me no.
Hmm.
It clearly is not a connoisseur of the magical arts, though. I can say that.
What sort of things did it ask for?
It wanted to. So first it asked what sort of aesthetic pleasures I enjoy, which I described to it. But then it asked me what from amongst those pleasures I expected to find within. And I am unaware of any sort of magical arts that would be within.
I have no idea.
Well,
Where
suppose
is Chaz? Of course it would let Chaz in.
You know what? It probably absolutely would.
Dobrin approached the door.
Good luck. You got to stop moving right before that last step, though.
He moves up, walks up.
I think if you hesitate, it may turn you away just for that.
So
I will gingerly and carefully like tap a toe down a step, slowly plant my foot, and make my way down the 7 steps,
see
trying not to trip.
see going down it feels like 8. But
This,
sorry.
I was just gonna say, Siegel should really send out its OSHA people because these stairs.
So Dobrin, you try to climb the stairs. Um, so trying to learn from Uthermath, you attempt to just step through that last step and you trip on a step that is actually there.
He just like silently like curses to himself.
But from Uthermeth and Cadeau's perspective, you just were you tripped over air. You tripped over your own feet.
So this is what it means to be non-Euclidean.
It's warping geometry.
So what do you do when you're on the top of the stair?
Just moves, he saw Uber Math like confidently walk forward and said he had a conversation with the door, so he would follow suit.
All right. And then very much like Uthermeth experienced, suddenly there's a vortex and everything from your perspective disintegrates away into this swirling cloud, leaving only you and the door. Ah, I am never seen one of your kind pass through my doors, or attempt to. Tell me, what is it that you seek within?
I seek to dine on delicacies and the pleasures of the flesh of many shades.
Hmm. Tell me more.
I am I have pent up pent up need from my days of being at the monastery. And I hear this is the place for such a thing. I also have a thirst, one that I wish to slake with my trunk.
And tell me
Here,
specifically, what is it that you thirst for, and how do you imagine you will satisfy the desires that you wish to sate?
fine liquor, a meal not made of meat hunks, something, anything that of the remotest descriptions of the food and the liquor and the personas here would be more than enough. In fact, I feel tickled just thinking about it. I
It's
am
interesting.
blind, but my
Uh,
taste is not deaf.
it's interesting because you have said a lot of what you do not wish to seek, what you do not wish to find within. You have said little about what you truly crave.
A buffet of food. Other, well, you said there were none other of my kind, but if there are comparable women of my kind, I would wish to gaze upon them and eat this buffet and drink out of places I would dare not mention on this open streets of Sigil. For
Ah, but you are not upon the open streets of Sigil. You and I are speaking very privately.
well, if a magical talking door can keep a secret, I will tell you. And he begins to describe at length all sorts of whatever dirty thing he can think of. Based off of Uthermaths, he assumed that this door is a pervert. And
And it probably helps that you've been having like horrible visions of what might happen with Tronfeld.
yeah,
So these things are all fresh in your mind.
yeah.
Now, here's a question. Is Dobrin being genuine when he's saying these things, when he's describing what it is that he's describing? Or is he simply saying what he thinks the door is wanting from him?
Mm. He's exaggerating what he wants, but there is a part of him that, when he says that he has, you know, pent up kind of demand from the monastery, that part is real. Um, you know, all the exaggeration would be the detailed descriptions that he would be providing of all the orifices and what they could be filled with.
All right. I want you to run or to roll a uh persuasion at disadvantage.
Ah, I am awful at that. Yeah. But you know what? I'm gonna action point it, right? Like this is what action points are made for. So even though I have very little chance of succeeding, that's better. And
Now the question is, did you want to roll high or low?
yeah, well,
So, uh, the door considers for a moment what you described that you want. And it says, you certainly have a point of view when it comes to your tastes, and I respect that. I will warn you that you will not find exactly what it is that you are seeking. This is not a brothel, although there are those that may wish to engage with you. People do come to socialize here, but you seem to be interesting enough to allow entrance. And with that, you step forward into a a really an expansive entryway, dark burgundy wooden walls, and the the glow of lights where that don't quite you can't quite see where their source is. And it's a strange place because shadows don't seem to fall anywhere in particular. It gives everything a kind of flatness as a result, but everything is very clearly still three-dimensional. Walking forward, you notice that despite the fact you are walking down a flat hallway, there still seems to be a sense of an incline. And as you go into a larger, um, the larger uh, main room, you notice that there's many alcoves with people talking and eating and drinking. Those who sit in the alcoves seem to be very animated, yet you can't hear anything from their alcoves. There's a bit of a mumble, but it's strange because it almost seems like the alcoves are redirecting sound so that they barely leave the alcove itself. Um, Immediately, you are greeted by a maitre d' who is a very tall, mm, very tall hobgoblin. And he's wearing a fine suit and has uh, a large napkin or whatever the white tablecloth over his arm, and he says, "Good evening, and will you be dining alone, or would you like a table?"
I'll be dining with a table. Or I'll be dining like a table. I expect my friends to arrive shortly.
Very good. And he directs you to a table. The table is also in an alcove. Uh, there are people that are kind of mingling about, and there is a bar that people seem to be also convening along. So Uthermeth and Cadeau, you see Dobrin walk in, uh, seeming to just phase through the door.
Hey, he did it.
All right,
Look at
give
him.
him.
I wonder if I should try. I don't know. Do we want him to go in alone?
I wouldn't think so. I think you should at least try. Though I wonder what he said to get past the door.
Did we see a blush on his cheeks before he went through from all the things he was talking about?
Give me a perception check.
No. All right. Yeah. I seems like an obvious one. I'd see it or I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Um,
I probably thought of something that you can get inside
yeah.
and explained he wanted to partake of that. So think of things that may be in this tavern or whatever it is.
I walk up. I'm not even like looking down at the steps. I'm just like I'm taking steps as they come across, as they come up.
Because of your familiarity with Sigil and Sigil just being a non-Euclidean place as it is. You walk up just fine.
Mhm. And it's not like, is there a door handle or anything like that? It's just a, right? Okay. Um,
Just commit. Don't hesitate.
I was trying to figure out how I would describe it. I feel like Cadeau, with a sense of determination, is not going to let this door get in his way. It wouldn't block the Lady of Pain. It's not going to block him. And so his eyes go black as he goes to push through the door. And he's also sort of building up the magic, but not necessarily releasing yet the spell inflict wounds. And that's like it's so like the magic's in my hand, it hasn't been released yet, and I go to push through the door.
Uh, okay. Describe what would happen if your hand meets the door.
Um, if it's just the door, I I think I would let release the magic into the door.
Um, so, you gather the magic of the inflict wounds spell with your eyes blackening, trying to gather your power, creating this mental connection between the will of yourself and the will of the lady. But then your hand meets the door. You and you don't notice anything like what Kido or Dobrin described. It's simply your hand touches the door and releases the magic into the door.
Okay. I'm still pushing though.
You're pushing against it. It's solid. It doesn't seem to be giving in the slightest.
Um,
You do feel the magic of the inflict wound spell kind of diffuse through the door, through the building. I mean, it doesn't, because of the magic of the spell, it doesn't have an effect because it doesn't actually touch a creature that can be harmed.
yeah. Um, Still can't be healed. Um, so all right. So I released this spell into the doorway into the house or into the door, I guess. Um, and I just because I don't feel anything doesn't necessarily mean nothing happened. And I'm like, well, that'll just be a taste for you in case you decide to stop me. And I just start to try and walk through.
Go ahead and describe what it looks like as Cadeau tries to walk through a solid wooden door that doesn't actually give way.
Uh, he bumps into it. It's like looks back. I meant to do that. And it's turn around and walk back down the steps.
What happened?
Um, Nothing.
I thought you were going to say, I decided I didn't want to go in there anyway.
Nope, it's not even going to be that. If the other myths were very insightful, he might see that Cadeau's a little disappointed.
So, Dobrin, you wait for a few minutes, and then the butler returns and he says, "So, your first time here at the Gilded Angle?"
Yes, I've. It is, but I hear impeccable things about the food and the drink.
It is true, and more. So, because this is your first time here, I will explain to you what to expect. Here, you do not order wine. You order a year that went your way. You don't ask for something strong. You ask for something that remembers the last promise you broke. You don't determine what is or ask about the day's special. Instead, you ask for the last fleeting sob you felt after a bit of bad news. You you ask for an experience, and in that experience, you will receive something that measures up to it. Afterwards, you will be given the opportunity, well, you will have the opportunity to mingle with those around who are not in alcoves. And that's when you notice some people sitting in the main area that are in lounge chairs smoking various sorts of uh things that may be cigars or hookahs or other things that are a bit more alien, partaking of different substances, kind of chatting about. Um, and and he says, I would ask you not to bother those who are in alcoves unless you have a personal connection to them. And even then, it is usually uncouth to make the first move uninvited.
Well, I'd like, I'd like, uh, I'd like a sip of the first draught after an intense breakup.
Very good, sir. Uh, and he doesn't seem to write anything down. Uh, hold on, guys. Let's take a 5 minute break.
Okay.
Thought he might respond to your order with, what? What the fuck are you talking about?
They're like,
You're
ugh.
not breaking up with me. I'm breaking up with you.
That would be awful. All right. So, Dobrin, the waiter says, "Very good," and then he goes away. Um, so you're now sitting in an alcove by yourself. There are, as I've mentioned, a number of people that seem to be socializing out in the open, mingling. There is a bar where a number of people seem to be taking up space. So, uh, how do you imagine you would approach this?
So he coolly, he's trying to channel Chaz without Chaz being here. He coolly just kind of like, well, reclines in his booth in the alcove and like watches the different people and kind of surveying the scene. Um, he's gonna, I mean, he's waiting for his drink, and so while he's waiting for his drink, he's doing this. Um, and he would try to make note of anybody um, who seems like they're center of attention, or like they're talking about themselves or drawing attention to themselves, either through their voice or if there's somebody who is wearing something particularly flashy or ostentatious. So yeah, he until he has his drink, he's just going to be observing and looking for marks to
Okay.
to then talk to.
So the waiter returns, uh, and what he provides is a short, heavy glass. There's no stem, no ornament, and it's filled with something dark and warm toned, somewhere between amber and smoke. It smells faintly of citrus peel and old wood.
He grabs it with his trunk and like goes then like takes a sip of it.
The first sip burns just enough to force you to breathe. Um, and as you drink it further, the second taste changes. It gets bitter. But the third settles, unexpectedly gentle, like a hand resting on your shoulder without asking permission.
He looks over his shoulder. That's not that's not a given in sigil.
Yeah, nobody there.
This is
Um,
this is the kind of experience I was looking for. Excellent job.
um,
Assuming the mayor deeds didn't just like drop it off and walk
uh, no, he did not. He waited expectantly for you and is also waiting to see if there's anything else that you would like.
away. I'm content for the moment, but when the first rays of sunshine touch the fallow grove, then I shall be ready for the next carnival delight.
Very good, sir. And he moves away. So you begin surveying the establishment. Give me an investigation check.
Are you sure?
Uthermeth on the outside. It's okay. Dobrin is okay. It's the perfect man for the job.
You're unmuted, Kurt.
Might be a low roll you're looking for.
Yeah.
I hope it is a low roll. That makes that my -2 a +2.
I think he does take that into account, your actual proficiency, but your roll of a 5 might not have been as bad as it would otherwise be.
Um, so at this moment, you you don't notice anybody particularly standing out. Most people seem to be very much savoring food or drink that they have, um, or calmly um, interacting, socializing. Nobody seems to be excessively boisterous.
Turns out he's never here on Tuesdays.
I was gonna say he could also not be here at all. He's on the outside. Do we want to go to the barracks just in case? No, that's a whole other place, isn't it? It's a whole other district. Hmm,
And
maybe
I'm
not.
not sure what we could do if Dobron gets in trouble, but we should stay nearby.
Yeah, we'll hang out.
So, Dobrin, what do you do?
After a few minutes of surveying the bland, uh, disappointingly bland crowd at such an illustrious place, after what the door talked up, he would go up to uh, he would get up from his alcove and walk around and walk towards the bar area to see of the people who are standing if like they catch his eye a little bit more when he's not kind of cloaked in one-way shadows.
Give me a wisdom check.
That's
Actually, a wisdom save.
oh.
Mm.
You may want to action point.
I used my one action point already to get in.
Um, so you notice something subtle about the path that you take, but unfortunately, you just don't quite know what it is that you're experiencing. Can't quite put it into words. And as a result, you can't quite use it.
Use what?
The sensation that you're getting,
Okay.
you're you're processing it,
Oh, I
but
see.
you can't quite grasp it. You get
Dobrin's kind
you
of
have a sense that it has a connection to the path, but you can't quite determine how, what, or what this thing is.
okay. Dobrin focuses on it for a moment and then chalks it up to indigestion.
No, I'm sorry, where were you moving again?
Into the bar area, because there's kind of imagine that there's like people sit, in open seating and kind of out and about.
Mm-hmm.
So he'd move in there and just kind of like stand, survey the crowd, and see if anybody else caught it. If now that he has a different angle, since this is a non-Euclidean place and angles are everything in that geometry. Uh, Wondering if he would get a different look or perspective on the crowd.
Um, Yeah, I mean, one thing that you continue to notice is that the flattening effect of the light without source, because it doesn't generate any kind of shadow. And so it really is striking how two-dimensional everything looks. Uh, Particularly when you're moving, because you don't have the same kind of parallax effect that you might as you're as you kind of see people like walking from one end of the room to the next, like people aren't moving in the way that you would expect in relation to everything else. So like the wall and the alcoves don't quite move with you in the same way against the backdrop of the people who are sitting in the lounge chairs, kind of openly smoking whatever it is that they may be smoking. You find an empty seat at the bar, and you can see that are there's a pair of dwarves next to you that seem to be chatting, sharing a drink, and kind of they clink their drinks for a moment. On the other side of you is uh, a very slight woman with orange skin and hair that seems to be it seems to almost smoke with how dark it is. Against her skin is a very sheer dress that seems to play up and down her skin like living fire. And she takes notice of you and says, "Oh, I haven't seen you here before. Would you mind if I sat with you?"
And what's so delicate a flame? Uh, what is the name of a flame so delicate, such as yours?
Ionox. And you?
Ox. You say ox?
Ionoxa.
Ionoxa. Okay. I am Dobrin.
Well, it is a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Dobrin.
I cannot see you in the traditional sense, but I can feel you and I can see your presence and your aura. It is quite strong indeed.
You are quite forward, aren't you?
Usually, no, but this place has all sorts of directions that clash. Forward, backward, it's tough to say.
Hmm. So you've noticed as well. It's one of the interesting things about this place, the intersectionality of it all.
It's hard not to notice it, the way it clashes with the senses, but after the time, I think I'm starting to get used to it.
I
Where
haven't seen you here before. Is this your first time?
it is.
I always wonder to myself what it is that people people use with the door to get in. I mean, some of us have purchased passes that we just need to carry upon us and we're given entrance, but I understand that not everybody enters that way. Tell me, do you have a pass or did you convince the door to let you by?
Dobrin's cursing himself a little bit. We could have just bought tickets.
I don't know. I've never been in.
But then we wouldn't have known that only one of us is worthy.
Well, two of you, because Chaz definitely would have gotten in.
Right.
Chaz might have been the only motherfucker who possibly could have convinced the door to let us through.
Yeah.
Uh, Dobrin smiles a little bit just at the fact that he learned that there are tickets. No, I convinced the door. How does one procure tickets? Or where does one procure passes? I suppose the fact that I even asked means that I don't need to know. That's how these things typically work.
No, nothing so like that. But once you reach a certain level of a status, you are given an invitation. The invitation comes with a membership fee, and it allows you entrance to this establishment. It also opens the doors to other sections of the establishment that are typically closed off to those that enter the more difficult route.
Well, that is good to know. Excuse me, and he tries to get the bartender's attention. I do believe spring has come and are the rains are coming. I would like I would like a fresh spring grass uh, over a field of dandelions. And the lady?
Ooh, you must be quite wealthy to offer to purchase for me.
Oh, starts sweating.
He's sweating now.
The Golden Angle's first dine and dash.
Good luck with a magic door.
It was the gilded angle.
Okay.
Uh, so she considers for a moment and she says, I I will have the year that I watched my nephew born. And he says, very good. And he moves on to take some other orders. Well, thank you very much. So, to what do I owe this show of generosity?
Just a small bit of company.
Well,
You
I
say
can be fine company.
you say you have work. You say you are come here often.
From time to time, when I find myself in Sigil.
Do you know do you know of a Cruigh Manathas, perchance?
I can't say that I do. Should I know Cruigh Manathas?
Well, if you did, you would know. But whether you should, well, that remains to be seen.
I have to ask. We're here sharing company, apparently sharing drinks and food, but you don't ask me anything about myself. You ask me about somebody else entirely. That seems a bit odd, bordering on rude.
I apologize, my delicate flame. Tell me, you said you're only in Sigil from time to time. From what other, when you're not in Sigil, where do you fare?
Um, this is one of those times when my lack of knowledge of the planes is not great. Well, I may find myself vacationing on the elemental plane of fire, but most often I like Isgard.
Hmm, I've never been.
Well, it's a fabulous place.
What,
Uh,
what does one do in Isgard?
anything one might like, just as what you can do anywhere. Isgard is a place of freedom. It's a place that I find to be quite joyous.
It sounds much nicer than Limbo.
Limbo, you say?
Yes.
What do you know of Limbo?
Well, I resided in it for quite some time before entering Sigil.
Truly?
Truly, it is a chaotic place, to say the least.
Seems quite inhospitable.
There are enclaves, pockets, pockets of civilization in the chaotic maelstrom.
Hmm. How is it that you found yourself in Limbo?
I do not. My earliest memories are darkened to me. I only remember hot, arid deserts, and then a rush of fire, and then I next knew I was in a monastery that resides in one of the pockets. And there I was taught and I was raised and taught by those who became my many fathers and mothers with the Githzerai.
Hmm. By the way, so while this is going on, Cadeau and Dobra or Luther Meth, what are you guys doing?
Uh, I would tentatively try to sit down on the steps and see if I'm able to.
I'm already sitting on the steps.
Both of you trying to sit on the steps find yourselves at a strange incline where the edge of the step pushes right against whatever part of you're placing upon the step, making it fairly uncomfortable.
I think this building isn't a fan of loitering.
Well, while we wait for Dobrin to come out, it is also possible that our quarry may approach these steps to go inside.
Yeah. Do I know what this guy looks like?
No.
I said he was human. Well, hopefully we'll be able to tell when it's him approaching. How big is this place?
The Gilded Angle.
Mm-hmm.
Well, kiddo, you know that that is not necessarily a
Right.
informative question because of the way that sigil exists. Regardless of the size of the building, it could always be bigger or smaller inside.
I just wonder if there's if I can walk it and see if maybe there's another entrance.
Service entrance. Although because it's like portals, the service entrance could be all the way across town, as
I
far as
know.
we know.
Yeah.
Um,
For all we know, those people with the passes have another way in too. So see if maybe that entrance is
um, roll percentile. Higher is better.
around. Don't tell me that. Just don't tell me that. Don't say higher is better. Just stop saying that part.
The dice god hath
Yeah.
spoken.
This will be your Dr. Sheev.
Just for posterity, because we're not sharing the screen, I just have to say that you rolled a 1 on your percentile check.
There's no entrance. There's no other entrance. It's the only way in.
So are you actually trying to, or were you trying to go around, see what's at the back?
I was just trying to see how much of the building I could circle.
Yeah, you could circle all the
Easily.
way around
Okay.
relatively easily. I mean, you'd have to kind of go around the block.
Yeah.
Uthermeth, are you following, kiddo?
No, I would wait by the entrance.
Smart. So kiddo, as you approach the back, before you can even see what's there because of the darkness of the alleys and the route that you took, you find yourself you standing, like you're walking on the ground, and then all of a sudden you take a step, something gives out beneath you, and you fall.
And catch myself.
I'll allow you to do an acrobatics check. So you're not quite able to catch yourself. And you end up falling about 20 feet. So
Ouch.
I'm talking to myself. Taking 9 falling damage. And you look around and you find yourself in what seems to be a tunnel. It is completely dark except for the slight amount of light coming in from the place that you fell from.
Sure. Trying to see. I don't recall specifically. Changelings getting dark vision or
No,
not?
they don't.
Okay. How far can I see in any direction?
About 10 feet in either direction. It's very dark.
Um, how far did I walk away from old Uzi?
Uh, you went around the block to the back, so quite
Got it.
far.
I like to imagine he made it like 15 feet, then plunged into a hole. And I'm still just sitting there.
You know, these sorts of things are always a fucking problem in the big city, you know? Fucking open goes down to somebody's cellar and somebody's not paying attention. They just fucking fall down, trip in. Um, catch sort of. I guess it's not a whole lot I can do right now. I can't see. All I can do is I'll do a little bit of this. Okay, all right. I'm gonna try my best because I'm gonna cast Nistel's Flash um to sort of create a quick flash, just try and get an idea as to how what's in any direction. And I guess, you know, if there's any bugs or small creatures looking at me, they might get fucking blinded.
Uh, give me a perception check with disadvantage.
Oh yeah, that's what I want. Okay.
The dice cards really have a very set determination on how well you should be doing.
I mean, from Uthermath's perspective, if you just disappear into that hole and never come back, that seems like it's happening a lot anyway.
I just
Um,
figured you're out of earshot, so
so it what
Who,
you're
by the
able
way, has the cranium rat? Was
I
that
do.
Chaz's pet? Okay, because cranium rats, I believe, do have dark vision.
Hmm. I don't think I can get specific words from a cranium rat normally, so
um
But there might be other cranium rats down here. It may be way smarter now than it was on the street above.
it's true. We'll see.
um actually, so when you see the flash of light, the flash happen as the flash happens, you feel your cranium rat leap from your body. Um, and you see it going into one of the directions in the tunnel. So You do notice that it is a tunnel that extends in either direction. But there are what seem to be 5 or 6 cranium rats gathered together, just kind of rolling around, and uh it's kind of like, when a dog finds like, or they have like a dead squirrel and they like throw it around and they start rolling on it and rubbing it on them. It's
Kind of,
kind of
yeah.
like that. It's kind of like that.
They're doing it to themselves.
It's hard to say because of the quick flash that you got.
Sure. But I felt my little friend jump off of jump off of me in that direction.
Hmm.
I just like I just say, Hector, wait. Trying out names. I don't know what sticks with them yet, so let's try and Hector first.
Um, so you actually, in response, you hear your cranium rat, whether it is named Hector or not, uh, he responds mentally in your to you. It's not so much words or thoughts, so much as a feeling of just pure and unrestrained joy, and almost like a sense of kind of like the feeling that you get from snacking on something tasty.
Sure. They're eating something they like. I'm like, okay, yeah. Eat up, I guess. Do you know how to get out of here? Can you do they know how to get out of here? After you eat, of course.
The Yeah, there's still too few cranium rats to really allow it the intelligence to form words. You get a sense that it's kind of understanding what you're saying, but it's also, as you're talking, you feel its frustration as it's trying to focus on what it is doing right now.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden it's gone. The cranium rats scatter and yours comes back over to you.
Is that good?
He no longer quite has, because the cranium rats left, now he's lost his ability to communicate with you telepathically in that way. Um, but you can see its little face, and you can get a sense that if he's pretty sated.
It's
How
dark
long?
though, so I can't tell that he was just eating brains.
No, you can't tell what he was doing.
Well, we gotta try and start getting out of here. Maybe there's no ladder for this fucking hole.
No, when you did your flash, you were able to see that it was actually a service crate that fell, but it doesn't have like a ladder. Like it was maybe like a sewer grate of some kind.
Hmm.
not like a manhole cover where it's like meant to be service, but more like for drainage.
Let's see here. Looking at my equipment, I guess I do have a torch. With a tinderbox. I could at least light up some light. Give me some light here to start moving.
Okay. So you light a torch and you can now very clearly see your surroundings. It's a square tunnel uh that goes on either direction. You can't see where it goes beyond the light. But you do see the area that the cranium rats seem to be gathered, and there doesn't seem to be any sign of what they may have been doing. If they were feeding, there doesn't seem to be even any drops left of whatever it might have been.
Are there any of them around still?
No.
All right. Well, I'll just I'll start heading that direction, just in case we do come across them again.
Okay.
So
Pick a
that I
direction and go.
understand, is this more of, I mean, given the shape of Sigil, it doesn't seem like it would be a storm drain per se, but does that mean that he's basically fallen into a sewer?
Yeah. Um,
Dobrin is very sensitive to bad smells, so
so Uthermeth, after a bit of time passes, you realize that Cadeau hasn't really come back.
might be bigger on the outside. It's taking him a while to get around the block. Or he may have found something else to distract him. But I will start to circle in the other direction around the building, expecting that I may run into him that way.
Roll a D100.
Um, so you don't encounter him. You do get to the back of the establishment before you actually get to seeing it through the shadows. You do see that there is a hole in the ground.
I will walk around the hole.
Yep.
So walking around the hole, you see the back of the building, and it's completely blank, but made of the same dark stone as the front.
So not at the hole. It wouldn't occur to me that he would like jump into the hole. So I will just start calling out for Cadeau. Also, are there people in the street? Part of the problem is Cadeau could be any one of these people.
uh, so there isn't anybody immediately here because this is kind of it's around the block, but it's also an alley through the the block. Um, and it's not really a place where people are normally walking or trying to get to or from anywhere. So, kiddo, you do hear Uthermeth like calling out to you, echoing through the tunnel.
Oh, I'll like stop. Yeah, down here. And I'll
That's
like
not creepy or it like.
I'll still I'll go back. I'll just head back to in the direction that I was going, or back in the direction I came from. I'll put a little hustle in it.
I mean, when I hear him, I would like peer over the edge of the hole and see the torch, or at least the light of the torch. Why are you down there?
I didn't try to be down here. I fell. I was looking at the building.
Can you get out?
No, I not in any quick fashion. I was going to start looking.
Seeing if I have anything that's useful here. Surprised to see that I don't think I have rope. At least not on me.
Well, I do have rope. I just didn't have anybody to help me with the other side of it. Actually, start digging around in
Wait,
my friggin' bag.
are you strong enough to huck like a coil of rope up 20 feet?
Probably not. I have a 7 strength.
Yeah. Do you have like a crossbow, like a crossbow or something that you could like tie an arrow to?
I don't know. You got a mage hand?
Nope. Well, I mean, I don't have it prepared because Mike
Yeah.
requires you to prepare cantrips. I
Oh, shit,
actually could have prepared it.
I have
I
mage
will,
hand.
so I will drop into the hole
Wait, hold
my
on.
court.
What were you
Okay.
gonna? Oh, you were gonna drop yourself, not yourself in
N-
the hole.
No, I
Okay.
was going to drop my corn husk doll to keep you company.
Oh, yeah. Thanks. Hold on. Hey, just stay there. Is there something to tie a rope to up there?
I will look around.
Um, yeah, probably about 10, 15 feet from the hole, there's an iron rot gate or fence. You could conceivably tie something to that.
Yes, there is a fence here I could tie a rope to.
Perfect.
Does it look like he would like, is it a substantial gate? Not something he would like tear out if he
No.
put all his weight onto it? Okay. Because that would be funny. That would be hilarious if he dragged a giant gate down on his head.
Well, given his 7 strength score, I'm definitely going to make him roll athletics, and we'll see what the dice gods have to say about that.
The rope gives me advantage. Uh,
The dice gods don't seem to care.
that's true. That is definitely true. So yeah, I open up my bag of holding, and I start pulling the end of the rope out, and I kind of hold it up, and I I cast a little spell, and a spectral hand sort of grabs the rope and starts carrying it up. I didn't have somebody up there to do this before.
All right, so you have mage hand.
I do.
So your mage hand brings the rope up through the hole. Uthermeth, you're able to grab it.
Okay, so I will go and tie it to the gate.
Um, so give me it's fairly easy, but give me a survival check to see how well you tie the knot, unless you have a different skill you'd prefer to use. That makes sense.
Right. So can this be survival with dexterity?
I'm gonna say no, just because it's the knowledge of the knot. It's not so much do you tie it like
Okay.
effectively. Okay, so yeah, you're able to tie a very secure knot. And
Perfect.
then so kiddo, you're gonna be hauling yourself up.
Yeah.
I
All
mean,
right.
I would be while he climbs, I'd be sort of like pulling on the rope on this side to try to help him out.
I put the doll that Uthermeth tossed down into the bag before I close it and put it on my back.
That's true. You would probably already get advantage from the emotional support Cornhusk doll.
In my bag of holding. Yeah.
All right. Give me an athletics check at advantage. Okay. So you're able to easily climb your way out.
I was like, sit back, like sort of lean back. So my bag, I imagine is kind of big enough to kind of hold me up like it's a chair, like the back of a chair. Uh, man, I'm glad I didn't have to go walking through the sewers. That place sucks.
Clearly, you fell into the sewer. I look him up and down at whatever filth is on him.
Yeah, I guess I'll have to get these cleaned or just get new ones. I try and think of is there a close place around here?
And with that, we'll return to Dobrin and Oxenaya. Or is that it? Oxenaya?
Uh,
There was
I,
ox in
I,
there, but
I,
I don't think there
Inoxa.
was
Inoxa,
inox.
that's right. Inoxa. Um, so uh the the waiter brings out what you asked for, Dobrin. And it's as he puts the plate in front of you, it's a wide ceramic plate, pale and slightly imperfect, carrying the colors of early spring. But something you notice is that it's not it didn't arrive steaming. It seems to arrive alive. On the plate there are tender shoots, not yet bitter, dressed only in light oil, pressed from pale seeds and a breath of citrus. Uh, Warm barley scattered beneath like soil just beginning to loosen, nutty and grounding. Fresh goat cheese, crumbled unevenly, still tasting faintly of the pasture. And herbs picked too early, bright enough to make your mouth wake up. And a final drizzle of spring sap reduction. Barely sweet, more of a promise than an indulgence. And sorry, go ahead.
They sure do know how to make them.
Indeed, they do.
I'm just sad that my friends didn't make it in. Seems they were not able to get past the door.
A shame. Are your friends as large as you?
He like thinks, no, no, I'm unique in their company. Well, we are all unique in our own way, I suppose. But as far as size, I'm unique.
And Ianoxa takes a sip of the drink that you bought her, and she has a sharp inhale. Oh, certainly a year worth remembering.
Sounds like a killer year. Do you frequently order that one, or were you just did the moment just strike you?
The moment's just struck me. I try never to order something twice here. It's too much of a interesting surprise, every time you get something. You know it's going to be satisfying, but you don't quite know what is going to be satisfied.
I'm into that. Well, I look forward to many subsequent visits where I can try all new memories, one after the other.
Um, Someone at the edge of the bar catches her attention and points to a watch, and she says, "Oh, I'm sorry. I need to excuse myself. But Dobrin, it was so nice meeting you. I do hope that you find that man that you were asking about." Uh, and then she lightly leaves.
Dobrin like looks over. Did he see that watch, like that interaction?
Uh, well, you have uh
I do have the blind sense,
that blind sense.
30 feet. So
So, yeah, you would have noticed that.
would I be able to perceive, the facial expression and, some of the intent behind it?
I would say not facial expression, but your well, can you post how your site works?
Yes. So you can see you magical,
Yeah.
non-magical darkness. I guess what he would be trying to figure out is whether she is like a courtesan or like somebody that works for this guy and like she was trying to schmooze him, or whether like she's in trouble.
Yeah,
Uh,
you can certainly make a perception check. I'd say that your vision and the path would give you some ability to gain that understanding.
Perception is one of my better skills.
Um, yeah, so you're just unsure.
Until we meet again next time, my delicate flame.
Until then.
Oh, I thought you left.
Oh, I didn't know if you said that like after it seemed like you were saying that as she passed by.
Oh no, I was kind of picturing more like him taking like a sip from the loamy spring earth
Mm.
and saying it to himself. So he would finish his meal and his drink. And like if nothing changed, like if they're within, between that time of not finding Cruigh Manathas or having any sort of clue where he'd be, he would make his way to leave.
Before you make your way to leave, uh, the you hear a from behind you as the waiter provides you with a bill.
Ah, yes, of course.
So
What's the bill?
1,103 jink.
Dobrin's washing dishes.
Dobrin says, looks at the bill and and looks up and says, "How about a favor?
Excuse me?
Can I exchange a favor to pay the bill?"
You don't have the chink to pay your bill.
I was not presented with a menu, nor had the prices. But no, I don't have this much jink.
Come with me.
Now's your chance. Now's your chance to get the fuck out of there.
So, Dobrin, do you follow or do you try to dip?
The people who can't afford to pay their bills get transformed into cranium rats.
Hmm.
I'm sure it's reasonable, whatever they're gonna do.
You know, he'd follow.
Okay. So, as you approach the door where he's leading you to, at this point you get a similar sense of what you were before when you were walking into the area where people were mingling. You get that sensation again, but it's much more clear, and now you have the ability to understand what it was. In this place, each person seems to exert a certain amount of gravity. Uh, and you're now wondering if that gravity is a kind of representation of one's power, influence, or some other factor, but you notice that the gravity is, as you approach this door, is getting stronger and stronger, pulling you towards this door.
Okay. He would
So,
he would just go through with it, I suppose.
okay. So, as you go through the door, you see a a humanoid man with a beard wearing fine clothing. While he's humanoid, you can't tell exactly what he might be. Though you don't see the details of people's appearance in the same way as others do with sight. You can generally understand the features as being related to human, elf, orc, tiefling, what have you. But every time you try to guess at what this person might be, there's a certain wrongness that comes with the answer. Uh, and he looks to you and says, Reginald, what is this? Why have you disturbed me? He seems to be, have been sipping from a glass. This patron, this so-called patron, is not able to pay their bill. And his eyes light up. Oh, is that so?
Can I pay with a favor?
Oh no, you're going to pay with much more than that.
Two
Reginald,
favors.
Reginald, give us a moment. Uh, and Reginald walks out, uh, shutting the double doors to this office. And the man offers you to sit in a chair across from him.
Okay. I'm gonna activate my medallion of thoughts.
Okay.
Which to read his thoughts. I'm not going to press, but just to get the surface thoughts at the moment.
All right. Okay. So you're able to get his surface thoughts. And the surface thoughts are essentially uh him wondering what he is going to get from you. But you also get the sense that he's not going to ask you for anything concrete, which is a confusing thought to have because if he's going to ask you for something, how would it not be concrete? And you also know that he is going to be, he's trying to gauge you. He's trying to get a sense of who you are.
Dobrin will he like ushered, he invited him to sit down. And Dobrin will sit down and appear relaxed. I'm certain we can work out a deal.
Well, first, let me know your name.
Dobrin,
Dobrin.
do I have the pleasure of speaking to?
I am the proprietor of this establishment. That's all that you need to know.
Very well.
So, I'm curious, how did you enter this place?
Through the front door.
And did you come with a pass card, or did the door judge you to be an appropriate guest?
The latter.
Interesting. The door doesn't normally pass those who would be unable to pay, yet it has done so with you. That must mean that you must have something of great interest.
Like I said, I'm sure we can work out a deal.
Perhaps we can.
Payment doesn't always have to come in the form of jink.
No, it doesn't. And you're canny to understand that. But still, the price is high, much more than many people might make in years of their work. And so it is left me wondering, what can I what can I gain from you that would be of equal value to the years one might serve for the tab you have accumulated?
Do you have need of a detective agency? Do you
No.
have some mystery that needs solving?
The only mystery that I need to solve is what it is the door saw within you. Tell me what you spoke to the door about.
of the carnal pleasures of food and drink, and the many skin tone, the many toned, many toned hues of skin.
Many toned hues of skin.
Yes, and after observing your fine establishment, I think it's fairly accurate.
You described the pleasures as carnal. Say more.
I mean, carnal in the sense of the extreme sensations of bite of the drink and the food here is beyond compare.
That's not what you spoke about with the door.
That is what I spoke with the door. I spoke of the food and drink that I wished to slake my thirst on, as well as ideally to find some people inside that I could also slake my thirst on, if you catch my drift. I got two of the three things, but I'm not a glutton. I'm quite content. Alas, I didn't realize the bill would be what it was. But I'm no coward. I will not run. An honest man or being will pay their debts.
As I said, you've quite acquired quite a debt, something that most people in Sigil would need to pay off over years.
Well, uh, there, if there is a job that needs doing, I can go perform it, whether it is to retrieve an item or an artifact of some sort, or whether it's to take revenge, take revenge on someone that has wronged you or your establishment.
I don't need a hired goon to break the kneecaps of those like yourself who would try to swindle me from the delicacies I provide. I am curious, what did you think of my establishment? What did you think of that from which you partook?
It's of the highest quality.
What else did you notice about it? Using your detect thoughts, you can tell that he's looking for a very specific answer.
Yeah,
He's looking for the theme
yeah.
of which around how you chose what you chose.
It is not about the food at the end. It is about what the food reminds us of.
Yes. The experiences.
Yes.
Orders are placed by requesting experiences.
Yes. And the experiences I tasted tonight were ones that I wished to have, that I had not had the opportunity to have.
And yet you are still left hungry in one aspect.
I know I'm short for your bill. I'm afraid if I was my hunger was abated for the third, well, I think this would be a different story.
I think you can pay for what you've partaken in by sating your hunger for the third. Although sating isn't quite the right word, perhaps.
He really hopes he doesn't know Trinfeld.
Mhm.
Go on.
I want to take from you your desire for the carnal taste of flesh that you have. That, I think, would be a settlement for the bill.
And should I come up with the remainder at some point in the future, may I exchange it back?
Tell me, if you were to pay for your meal tonight, could you exchange back what you have eaten?
Yes, but maybe not in the form that you would want it.
Yes. And that's the thing. It would be changed. It would no longer be that which you purchased. So, no, you would not be able to buy back from your debt. It would be settled. As you have eaten my food and drank my drinks, I shall indulge myself on that which is yours.
Like Dobrin like looks off and he's like those thinking to himself, like those monks would be so happy right now. You know, he looks up and says, very well.
He leans forward and he puts out his hand, which you notice that his palm is covered in arcane glyphs. Then, as he reaches out his hand, they seem to glow. If you agree, take my hand.
I just think he can win against this guy. He's gonna take his hand.
You find that your desire for any physical touch or intimacy flows out of you into him. You thinking of the things that you once desired now only fills you with blankness. But it's not even just that. Every memory that you have of any kind of physical touch or pleasure uh, has now become grayed out. You you still have those memories, but they don't stir the same feelings anymore, if any feeling at all. There's a kind of deadness or weight that exists where it did not before.
He realizes he's touching his hand and like backs it away. Like, so we are in accord.
The debt is settled. You may go. And he turns away from you and returns his focus back onto his drink. In the drink, you notice a subtle reflection of one of your previous experiences.
He Dobrin leaves.
So, Dobrin, by the time you leave, I imagine Cadeau and Uthermeth have made it back from the hole that Cadeau fell into.
Yeah. I'd be contemplating like where the nearest shop is that I could get clothes. Since I'm gonna need that.
I was hoping Dobrin would just pick up another drink on the way out.
One for the road.
Ah,
So yeah, Dobrin, you notice that Cadeau looks quite a bit worse for wear than you recall leaving him.
yeah, he smells too. I actually smelled it as soon as I walked outside. Oh, you did the opposite of a bath.
I mean, what is a bath, really?
What did you find out inside?
Unfortunately, I wasn't able to find
Cruigh Manathas.
Cruigh Manathas. But I lost my desire for carnal flesh. So that's something.
I'm just like,
Yeah, I'm the same.
is that a good thing?
Well,
I assume you just mean you sated all of your carnal desires while in there. Best not to dwell on that.
How long was I in that hole?
That's what Dobrin's asking.
Natronfeld has 0 fucking shot.
Or maybe she has the best shot ever because Dobrin's like, whatever.
Right.
oh,
No, we gotta keep this like alive. She's just gotta never know that this has happened.
so unfortunately, I didn't find our quarry. But it is delightful inside. Just, it's very expensive.
How expensive.
My bill was 1,100 jink.
I just stand there sort of dumbstruck at that.
Is that how much you paid?
No.
Our client is going to kill us when we present her with the bill for our expenses.
No, I paid in the loss. No, I paid I paid in another manner, to say the least. Still too near.
I see. Well, lesson learned, don't go in there without a lot of money. Who's going to carry that much jink around?
Whoever can make it past the door. And there are passes.
Yeah.
But to get a pass, you have to get a special invitation, pay the membership, and then you can get passes.
Sounds as if the membership fee would be quite high.
Yeah, does it come with free drinks?
Probably paid for in the membership. Well, the Gilded Angle wasn't quite what we hoped. Maybe the Harmonium HQ? After change of clothes?
Yeah, there's a shop nearby. I was just going to go by. Then to the barracks? Can we get inside the barracks? Is that a place we can get inside of easily?
Well, that's the harmonium.
Right, but
Yeah.
Cruigh Manathas is
That's
near
the other
the
place
Harmonium.
he might go. Yeah. This place was just closer to where we were.
Yes. Well, let's be on our way.
So as you guys make your way to the clothing shop that Cadeau wants to get a change of clothes from, each of you give me a perception check.
Where were these rolls before?
We don't know if it's high or low.
That's true.
Dun, dun, dun. All right.
It's pretty good about like keeping the video from pre-crash. It's just that it'll be in 2 files.
Okay. All right. So, Tony,
Yep.
I'm gonna send you a message. Okay.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, okay.
Oh, one other thing. Uh,
Yeah. I'll pause for a second and since I'm probably the one that's leading everybody, me stopping it would be noticed. And I sort of look at a pair of guys that are walking in the other direction. And I sort of just like nod towards them. I think that's him.
That's who.
Cruigh Manathas.
Oh. And they walked past us.
Yeah, pretty much, I think.
Uthermouth.
Yes.
Did you have a plan in mind when we actually found Krog?
Yes, I was going to wait for you two to ask him questions.
I haven't changed yet. So it might be best for you two to go.
Very well.
Let's see. How can an elephant that wields a glaive and a battle axe not look like he's intimidating as a guy?
how does a rampaging elephant appear friendly and welcoming?
Yes, this says
By
the
not
question.
rampaging.
Channel your inner Babar.
Hmm.
I believe in you. I'll find you guys around here. I'm gonna keep going.
Dobrin will just like looks to Uthermath and says, it's the uh excuse me, sir.
Huh? Oh, yo.
My name is Dobrin with the True Blue Detective Agency.
I care why?
I was hoping to ask you about a particular building you owned, a church. Do you, would you be able to, would we be able to ask some questions for a few minutes?
You've been listening into my conversations.
I
I
don't,
was just talking about it with my friend Bill.
oh, no, I didn't hear you.
Giant ears.
I have selective hearing.
We were asked to look into why the Athar are being so aggressive in defending this church from outsiders and into the disappearances of people who went inside. In investigating the building, we uncovered the fact that you were the owner of the land on which it sits. Do you know which deity it was dedicated to?
I don't know anything about that. That place is cursed. I swear to God. Oh man. I I don't even care that the Athar have it right now. I'm just hoping that they can deal with it so that I can to tear it all down and be able to put an apartment complex up there. But yeah. I sent out a crew to demo the place. They all disappeared, you know. And I'm like, all right, few people disappeared. It happens. It's Sigil, whatever. So I send I'm a namer of the harmonium. I'm a hardhead, proud of it, though those are my younger days. Uh, and you notice that while this guy appears to be in his 70s, he's built like a 40-year-old soldier. Like he can handle himself. His friend looks like he's in his 70s and he's in his 70s. Um, which I suppose is better than being in your 40s, but looking like you're in your
Yeah.
70s. Um, and he says, so I called in a favor and I got some of the hardheads to go and investigate, and then they go and get disappeared. And I swear, it's got to be some curse. Them cranium rats are running a scam, or they're doing something with the portals. It, it's it's just it's crazy. It's crazy what's happening. So yeah, I don't got any problem with the Athar quarantining the place. They're like, oh, it's divinity, the divine power. It's got to be destroyed. And I'm like, yeah, destroy it. I want to tear the place down and make an apartment. Yeah, I want to make some money off of it. Ever since I got the deed, I'm like, yeah, I got to use this. But yeah,
We
Would
were hoping to also stop the disappearances, which would make it possible to tear the church down, but the Athar will not let us investigate the site. Did you give permission to the Athar to take it over?
yeah.
At least that explains how they got there.
Like I said, they came in, they're like, oh, the divinity, it's got to be destroyed. And I'm like, yeah, okay. If you can clear it out, then, do what you got to do, clear it out, and then give it back.
When we were there, we did not see them taking any steps to clear it out. They were simply surrounding the place.
Well, I know that they had an agreement with the Harmonium to keep people out because it's, disappearances are not exactly, it's one thing when a barmy or a bubba or whatever gets disappeared. But when you get enough people like disappearing all at once in the same place, it starts raising concerns about other things happening. People get all up in arms, and so they want to keep the place separate so nobody else goes getting disappeared.
we were hoping to investigate the phenomena more directly, but were most ungently rebuffed by the Athar. Would you be willing to grant us passage to inside to view whatever this is with our own eyes and do our investigation? Sure, it's not going to affect you in any way.
Well, it might. I mean, the Athar are gonna clear the place out. So they got their system. But if I'm like, hey guys, I got these other people that want to snoop around. I mean, what if they say, well, then, it's on you, and they leave me with it. Now I got to clear out something that's causing people to get cursed and disappearing, making cranium rats go all crazy and opening portals everywhere.
I mean, it seems like they have a very vested interest in the church. I don't think they would throw it back on you. The way
I'm
they
not sure
guard,
they're I'm not sure they are trying to destroy the building that's there.
yes, they're more so guarding it.
Yeah, because people are disappearing. They don't want people disappearing. The Harmonium don't want it. The Athar don't want it. The Athar don't want the divinity spark there, or whatever that fucking means.
Did they say there was some spark of divinity there?
I don't know what they were saying. They're saying something about, oh, the gods need to get killed, get rid of all the gods. And, I'm just like, whatever. You do your thing at the church, destroy what you got to destroy, and then let me have it.
Are you not concerned that there may be a portal in that building that could be valuable?
Uh, Not really. Seems cursed to me. And if the Athar can get rid of the curse, then I can make a profit.
I mean, if you were able to learn the true nature of this portal and where it could go, you could charge passage, a toll, and potentially make, depending on where it is, could potentially make a lot of money.
Yeah, but if it's cranium rat portals, I don't want anything to do with that. They eat people's minds.
I mean, but how will you know?
Well, the Athar will take care of it.
And you trust them to do that? No, you
Yeah,
know your business better than I do, so you're clearly a capable man.
I don't even know who you guys are.
Oh,
You're looking into the disappearance. Is there somebody that that went missing?
Not that we know, but we have a client who is very concerned about the disappearances and wanted us to prevent further disappearances.
I
And
mean,
we ourselves have very little faith that the Athar are trying to take care of the problem, as opposed to curate the portal that's there for their own use.
uh, do you got a card or something?
Oprah looks
Uh,
to her mouth. Who did
so
have the
I,
cards?
right. I don't know how many cards I have. I did not write down the actual number, and it's odd because it's Fisk who's like the artist who like made the sign. So it's like I pull out this card and I'm like, where did I get this? It's very well drawn. Feels like I should have paid someone for this. Is there a bill waiting for me back in the office that I did not pay? So I like hesitate while I'm thinking about where I even got these hand painted cards. But I will give one to him.
All right. And he takes and he's like, "Look, I'll have my people talk to your people, and we'll see if we can't work something out." Now, excuse me, I got important business to get to.
Have a wonderful day.
Um, Dobrin and Cadeau, give me insight checks. I'm gonna say that I'm guessing Uthermath wouldn't necessarily pick up on the subtleties, but Uthermath, if you want to give me an insight check too, you can. Um, were you gonna give me an insight check,
No.
Kurt? Okay. So, kiddo, I'm gonna send you a message. All right.
He starts to walk away. I look to Uther Meth and I'm like, I don't think he's gonna reach out.
Well, there's not much we can do about that now.
As he's walking away, I'll call out. I'm like, hey, um, you should reach back out. Otherwise, these guys are persistent. They will find you again.
Um, oh wait, kiddo, you weren't
Mhm.
even there, were you? You were getting close.
I was about to disappear and go get clothes. Yeah, maybe the guy I was curious about what he's gonna say.
Um, and then he responds, "Who the hell are you?"
Just a friendly neighborhood guide.
Give me a persuasion check.
If you need to
And
find it,
and it's not
there's a
it's
place you
not
need to
it
go. I know how to get there.
they're far enough away that they don't smell you, so it's not at disadvantage.
Okay, persuasion. You said.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. You
You know what?
think
I'll use it. I'll use an action point. I'll see if
okay.
I can get higher than that.
Hey,
A little better.
All right. You're pretty sure that he may consider reaching out. He may need a little bit of a push, maybe. Like if he gets frustrated with the Athar and how quickly they're addressing the issue.
Well, let us into that. If you can get us into that building, I mean, it might save you a whole lot of time.
Did you shout that out after him?
Yeah,
Uh, he kind of does the as he walks away.
sure.
so our next plan is clear. The next steps are clear. We need to find a real estate developer who is desperately looking to put up condo apartments and tell them that this is almost ready for the knocking down
Prime real estate.
if it
Yeah,
weren't for these Athar, and then pressure uh Proag to let us in so that he can get this real estate development. Yeah, that's perfect. It'll work.
do you know these people? Do you know where to
No,
find them? Yeah, I don't
no,
either. That's
but
not.
they're
I don't
out there.
find. I don't necessarily find people. I can get you to a place. Maybe I could find a person.
Well,
More effort.
I'm sure those people existed in the Gilded Angle, but I'm not going back in there. Not until I'm
Eh,
rich.
We could always next try to canvass the area around the church and see what other people have heard,
I'm gonna
apart from
continue.
the bar.
I'm gonna continue my way to get some clean clothes.
Please do.
Um, so it's it's pretty late by this point. Uh, so it you guys, if you want, you can go back to the detective agency. However, it is pretty far away. Um, the ubiquitous Wayfarer is a bit closer. It's also closer to the church. So if you did want to start canvassing the neighborhood, it would allow you to get a pretty good start the next day
Yeah,
if
that
you
makes
wanted to
sense to
stay
me.
there.
And probably be cheaper for the client for us to stay there than get all the way back and there and back to the detective agency.
Yeah, sounds good.
So
So
what
I am gonna have to call it there for me because I am passing out.
No, I was just gonna say let's end it there. I am curious what you guys thought about the return to the campaign.
So I like the Gilded Angle a lot as a location. I am sad that I did not get to go in, but also glad because I also would have ordered drinks without thinking about what the cost would be. And I don't know what memories I would have given up or desires in order to pay off my tab. But I think it's an interesting idea.
Yeah, I thought it was fun. I really liked it. I was able to get into it. Thought it would be interesting to not fight it and to see what the proprietor was like.
Mhm.
I
Um,
have I have no sense at all that we're making any progress towards solving the main mystery.
Slowly but surely.
yeah,
We met another lead who has no interest in helping us. I guess there's that.
Um,
Maybe maybe we have to go back to the client and figure out why she's the only person interested in solving this mystery.
well, it's possible that Cruigh Manathas may contact you. He may need a
Right,
little bit more pressure, but you at least know his motivation is to get this thing addressed so that he can start developing the apartment complex he wants to. So if you had a concrete way of offering that, he might
right,
move the levers that he can to get you what you need.
right. Though I don't know though, assuming it's like a portal that's making people disappear, whatever it is, all the ideas I can think of, I don't know that we can stop it from doing that. So at third level, there's not a lot of permanent dispelling we can do that would affect this. Even if it's a relatively simple spell, no dispel magic to get rid of it. And if it's like a more complicated phenomenon, that even that wouldn't work. Uh, I do think our best chance at this point was to do what we did and just try to undermine his confidence in the Athar's ability or willingness to help him out.
Mhm.
But, canvassing the area to see what other people have seen seems like the logical next step, outside of the one tavern we've been to.
yeah.
Mhm. Um,
Or we become namers in the Athar and hope to get a sign there.
I hope nobody recognizes you as the guy that killed one of their own.
Right.
Um,
I can make sure they don't recognize me, but
Right.
um, Also, Tony, I was actually really confident that Cadeau was going to be able to get past the door until you decided to hold the inflict wound spell.
I listen, it wasn't going to dissipate unless if it didn't let me. If it let me in, it wasn't going to go.
Yeah, but it's just
And then it didn't even. It didn't. Then it didn't even engage, so it got the full fucking effect.
Which didn't seem to affect it. So,
because it's an inanimate object.
That's fine. That's fine. I felt better about it. That's all that matters.
I mean, again, maybe for the best because, like, what memory or experience would you want to have given up?
No, no, I'd have died and dashed.
Right. But, as Mike suggested, you'd run up to the magic door and be like, let me out. And it might say no.
Yeah,
Right. And then
that
you've
was another.
got to
Sorry.
deal with the angry owner who thinks you tried to run out without giving him anything.
Yeah, and that was another thing that wasn't specifically pointed out, but there were no windows. There's no windows on the facade in the back. No windows were noticed inside, so very much contained. But well, I'm glad that people
What if it
sorry.
is all a cranium rat trick? What if that's the campaign is defeating the cranium rats?
Uranium Rat King.
Yeah.
I mean, cranium rat king would be genius level, presumably intelligence. There could be a boss.
Yeah, that would be interesting. I would say a Cranium Rat King would probably be as potentially dangerous in terms of their machinations as a Mind Flayer or a Lich.
Well, that's definitely something I'll have to throw into one of my games.
One day I will be the cranium rat king. Aha.
Or Cadeau will be like the pet of the cranium rat king.
Yeah. Oh, it's cute. He thinks he's people.
The lady would never let that happen to me.
Thanks for running, Hawk. It
Yeah.
was
Thanks for playing, guys.
fun to get back.
Bye.
Yep. Take care, everyone.